Dear friends and sisters, I talk to you is Manak Chand Sanghi, Bangalore, Karnataka State. I have told you that Shri Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru died on 19th May 1964 due to setback suffered by the Chinese invasion on our northeastern states. Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri was elected as a candidate for next Prime Ministership by the Congress Party. He has taken over the reins of Prime Minister on 9th June 1964. Post-independence, he served many posts as Minister of Police and Transport, General Secretary of the All India Congress Committee, and Minister of Railways and Transport in the Central Cabinet. During his tenure as a Prime Minister, he has faced so many challenges such as India's war with Pakistan and great food grain situation facing this country. India was not having enough food stocks which can feed the entire population of this country. But he has high morale and courage to fight these problems. He has set an example for keeping one day's fast once a week and asked his fellow citizens to do so. His message to this country brought good results and we were able to cope up with this problem very efficiently. You know that high moral and confidence defeats any severe problems. Anyhow, our country people had learnt so many ways of beneficial and living tips of peace during Lal Bahadur Shastri's period. I remember that during the war with Pakistan and the grim food situation of this country, Shastri ji did not lose heart and have shown the path to fight the menace with strong hand and boldness throughout the country where he went. In this period, he gave a slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, encouraging soldiers and farmers, the two leading forces of India. The slogan became so famous throughout India, from whom the people of this great country took the inspiration and acted as accordingly. I will talk to you about Pakistan war which was fought during 1965. During the war, Lal Bahadur Shastri, who had shown exceptional courage and self-confidence that all Indians are familiar with this. Wherever he went, he boosted the morale of our youth and army's people. He had become our national hero. His encouraging speech had become so powerful force that our Indian army gave a crushing defeat to Pakistan during the war, which Pakistan will never forget it. You know that India was not having sophisticated and modern weapons as against Pakistan. Pakistan had waged the war during 1965, who had suddenly attacked India with sophisticated weapons which were supplied by USA. This war reigned from August 1965 to September 1965. Pakistan code named it as Operation Gibraltar. On 5th August 1965, Pakistan had sent 26,000 to 33,000 Pakistani soldiers with Kashmiri local costumes infiltrators after crossing the LOC in different parts of our Kashmir. After getting advance information from the people of local populace, Indian Army soldiers acted swiftly. Indian Army crossed the ceasefire line on 15th August and gave Pakistan a befitting reply. Main objective of Pakistan for sending infiltrators into India occupied Kashmir, that is Akhnur, Kashmir, to snatch this area from India and simultaneously to cut off the supply route of arms and ammunition and information center area from the rest of India. Akhnur, Kashmir was strategically most important to India because this was a main information center and soldiers were weapons procuring area for the military. But Pakistan did not succeed in its aim. Finally, our Indian Army drove Pakistan from this area and kept the area rescued from them at last. You should be aware that mostly this war was fought between cavalries of both countries. Through this war, Pakistan intended to reach our capital Delhi, but our Indian Army destroyed its intention. As I have told you, that this war was primarily fought between cavalries of both the countries. In this war, Pakistan had used patent tanks which were supplied by USA to Pakistan. Our Indian Army had used Centurion and M4 Sherman tanks which were considered as weaker performers against Pakistani tanks, patent tanks. Now I will talk to you about patent tank in detail. Patent tank was built up from 1952 up to 1959 in the United States of America. Its weight varies 45 to 49 in tons. Its length is 30 feet and 6 inch, width 12 feet, and height is 10 feet 2 inch. 4 military officers operate it. 1 commander, 1 gunner, 1 loader, and a driver. The thickness of its slit is 4 feet 7 inch. The diesel engine's power is 750 horsepower, and in it a Browning gun machine can be used. Its striking area is 462 km and the running speed is 48 km per hour. M48 patent tank is a medium tank which was designed in USA. This tank moves on a long steel belt in the battlefield. It is very difficult to break it in the moving state. In its center there is an empty space. 4 military soldiers can sit in it. That is 1 commander, 1 gunner, 1 loader, and a driver. There is also a place for keeping shells in it. It is covered by a steel lid. It is made up of so strong steel that biggest of big cells strikes or fired at it is impossible to break it up. One long round like steel conduit fires the shells in the battlefield. It is fitted with Browning gun machine. This steel conduit is also made up of so strong steel that it is impossible to break it up. Patent tanks price would have been rupees 50 lakhs during 1965. People had said to me that shells fired from the patent tanks sticks with any cannon or other tank's lid. There they will make a hole of about 3 inches after melting that steel area enters through the hole's way. They will enter inside the cannon or other tank and burst into it and makes heavy damages to the cannon or tank. Patent tank having all these advantages, our Indian Army damaged heavily these patent tanks of Pakistan. It appears that our Indian Army has functional capability, self-confidence and sense of sacrifice. Somebody informed me that our Indian soldiers slept down with ammunition below marching patent tanks in the battlefield that broke the steel belt of these patent tanks. By doing so, these soldiers were killed and sacrificed their life for this great nation. Thus, advancing of these patent tanks were stopped and crippled the functioning of these tanks. Our brave soldiers defeated the morale of the rest of these soldiers of these Pakistani patent tanks. Likewise, large quantities of Pakistani patent tanks were smashed. It was learnt that most of these patent tanks were left in the battlefield. The living example is the Patent Nagar, where Pakistani patent tanks met with heavy damages. There, almost 97 patent tanks were destroyed or abandoned by Pakistani soldiers. Foreign journalists told that Pakistan made hastiness and shown lack of specific awareness about patent tanks in the battlefield. Anyhow, India gave a crushing defeat to Pakistan. According to my knowledge, firstly, this war was fought in a systematic and planned manner, but after a gap of few days, both the countries had changed its strategy according to their readiness and regional commitment. Indian Army has taken their way and seized most of the Pakistani territory into their fold, which were fertile and land of Pakistan, whereas Pakistan took control of less area, mostly desert area of Rajasthan. 3,000 Indian Army soldiers were killed in the battlefield, whereas 3,800 soldiers of Pakistan were killed. Indian Army took control of 1800 kilometers of Pakistan land and Pakistan captured 550 kilometers of Indian land. Pakistan's land which we captured from Pakistani were Sialkot, Lahore and Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Indian land which went into the possession of Pakistan were to the south of desert Sindh and Cham in front of area to north of Kashmir. In air war with Pakistan, Indian Air Force Hawker Hunter and Indian manufactured Falland nets and Canberra bombers and a squadron of MiG-21S participated. Pakistan Air Force modern F-86 and F-104 starfighters with the starfighters 24 VV-57 Canberra bombers participated. During air battle, Pakistan Air Force aircraft position was 5 is equal to 1. Pakistani's aircrafts were American and Indian Force aircrafts were British and Soviet Union made. Some experts had said that Pakistan Air Force aircrafts were more modern and sophisticated than Indian Air Force aircrafts. But some experts said that Indian Air Force planes' performance were very good in comparison to Pakistan Air Force aircrafts. Please see that Pakistan F-86 and Hawker Hunter planes were supreme in air power and speed, but they were so big and heavy that they cannot do dogfight at low heights and found difficulty. Hence, Pakistan Air Force could not succeed. Our Indian Air Force was having light Hawker Hunters and nets planes which can easily dive down the Pakistan F-86 and was able to be successful in defeating Pakistan Air Force. Hence, in the air battle, both countries could not make any headway, but Indian cavalry of Indian Army made the upper hand because India seized more land of Pakistan's sides. Hence, Pakistan agreed quickly for ceasefire. The war with Pakistan ended on 17th of September 1965 with the mediation of the United Nations. After the ceasefire, Lal Bahadur Shastri and Muhammad Ayub Khan, the President of Pakistan, went to attend a summit at Tashkent, USSR, where they signed the Tashkent Declaration on 10th January 1966. This has ended the era of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and he died of a heart attack the very next day of signing the declaration. He has done a lot of work in his short span of time as a Prime Minister of India. He was posthumously honored with the Bharat Ratna. A memorial was built up in Delhi known as Vijay Ghat. His work and actions are still memorable this day. As you know that Sri Guljari Lal Nanda became the Prime Minister of India for 14 days after the death of Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri from 11th January 1966 to 24th January 1966, and he had also occupied the post of Prime Minister for the first time after the death of Prime Minister of Jawaharlal Nehru in 1964, that is 27th May 1964 to 9th June 1964. Both his terms were uneventful but was very important because of potential danger to the country following Nehru's death soon after a war with China in 1962 and Shastri's death after a war with Pakistan in 1965. Please note that Shri Lal Nanda served as Minister of Home Affairs from 29th August 1963 to 14th November 1966. Chairperson of the Planning Commission acting during 1964 and 1966. I am of the view that politics is for the welfare of the people but not for any gains or assistance from the country. The politicians serve the people and think for the welfare of the countrymen. I feel that leader of any category, big or small, is not about the nation. The nation is always supreme, but it is natural that every country or nation must have a political leader who guides the country or a political party. You know that we got our independence when millions of our countrymen had sacrificed for it. Jai Hind. I spell the following godly words with me. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji. Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Sri Venkateshaya Namo, Om Sri Venkateshaya Namo, Om Sri Venkateshaya Namo, Om Sri Venkateshaya Namo.